repair the punctate depressions in her cheek, and that laymen wouldn't even notice the damage. Alex wasn't convinced. But in the grand scheme of things, what did vanity matter? 5 seconds after she was shot, someone else had paid the ultimate price for her mistake. During the hellish days that followed the shooting, Grace had flown up to D.C. 3 times to be with Alex, despite being exhausted from taking care of their mother. Grace was the family martyr, a genuine candidate for sainthood. The irony was staggering. Tonight it was Grace, lying in an intensive care unit, fighting for her life. And why? Certainly not karma. She had been walking up the steps of a stadium to watch her 10-year-old son play baseball when she collapsed. Seconds after she hit the stairs, she voided her bladder and bowels. A CAT scan taken 40 minutes later showed a blood clot near Grace's brainstem, the kind of clot that too often killed people. Alex had been swimming laps in Charlotte when she got word, having been transferred there as punishment duty after the shooting. Her mother was too upset to be coherent on the phone, but she had communicated enough details to send Alex racing to the airport. When the first leg of her flight touched down in Atlanta, Alex had used her trio to call Grace's husband, whom she'd been unable to reach before boarding the plane. Bill Fennell explained that while the neurological damage had initially not looked too bad, some right-side paralysis, weakness, mild dysphagia, the stroke seemed to be worsening, which the doctors said was not uncommon. A neurologist had put Grace on TPA, a drug that could dissolve clots, but also carried serious risks of its own. Bill Fennell was a commanding man, but his voice quavered as he related this, and he begged Alex to hurry. When her plane landed in Jackson, Alex called Bill again. This time, he sobbed as he related the events of the past hour. Though still breathing on her own, Grace had lapsed into a coma and might die before Alex could cover the 15 miles from the airport. A panic unlike any she had known since childhood filled her chest. Though the plane had only begun its taxi to the terminal, Alex snatched her carry-on from beneath the seat and marched to the front of the 727. When a flight attendant challenged her, she flashed her FBI creds and quietly told the man to get her to the terminal ASAP. When she cleared the gate, she sprinted down the concourse and through baggage claim, then jumped the cab queue, flashed her creds again, and told the driver she'd give him $100 to drive 100 miles an hour to the University Medical Center. Now, here she was, stepping out of the elevator on the 4th floor, sucking in astringent smells that hurled her 4 weeks back in time, when hot blood had poured from her face as though from a spigot. At the end of the corridor waited a huge wooden door marked Neurology, ICU. She went through it like a first-time parachutist leaping from a plane, steeling herself for free fall, terrified of the words she was almost certain to hear. "I'm sorry, Alex, but you're too late." The ICU held a dozen glass-walled cubicles built in a U-shape around the nurses' station. Several cubicles were curtained off, but through the transparent wall of the 4th from the left, Alex saw Bill Fennell talking to a woman in a white coat. At 6'4", Bill towered over her, but his handsome face was furrowed with anxiety, and the woman seemed to be comforting him. Sensing Alex's presence, he looked up and froze in mid-sentence. Alex moved toward the cubicle. Bill rushed to the door and hugged her to his chest. She had always felt awkward embracing her brother-in-law, but tonight there was no way to avoid it. And no reason, really. Tonight, they both needed some kind of contact, an affirmation of family unity. "You must have taken a helicopter," he said in his resonant bass voice. "I can't believe you made it that fast."
"Is she alive?"
"She's still with us," Bill said in a strangely formal tone. "She's actually regained consciousness a couple of times. She's been asking for you." Alex's heart lifted, but with hope came fresh tears. The woman in the white coat walked out of the cubicle. She looked about 50, and her face was kind but grave. "This is Grace's neurologist," Bill said.
"I'm Meredith Andrews," said the woman. "Are you the one Grace calls KK?"
Alex couldn't stop her tears. KK was a nickname derived from her middle name, which was a family appellation, Caroli.
"Yes, but please call me Alex. Alex Morse."
"Special Agent Morse," Bill said.